What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and oh my lord, thank you Jesus, the marathon is over. That was 9 hours of pure garbage, but your boy did get two things out of this. One, it confirmed that Phil is just a difficult person to deal with, and two, Phil is probably one of the most entitled people on this planet, and that's a hashtag fact right there. Anyway, this video is going to focus on Phil discussing his interaction with a Machinima employee during the whole "this is how you don't play" and the fappening claims, strikes against those channels and those videos, and how Phil, of course, tries to cast all the blame to Machinima, and he had nothing to do with it. He had no, he did not direct anyone. He did not tell anyone to do anything. He did nothing wrong, like always. And he tries to cast the blame on this one employee at Machinima. And the funny thing is, he brings these receipts that look doctored as all hell. They look fake as hell. So let's get into the video.
In In January 2015, I get a mysterious email from someone at Machinima. Strange message. Hey Phil, we got this message sent to us today. Hi, I'm a big fan of a Machinima partner named DSP Gaming on YouTube. Unfortunately, people are uploading his content with hateful comments edited into his content on their channel. The videos are called "This is how you don't play." Basically, these hater vids are costing you ad revenue. Any insight into this, we can get this taken down if it's true. As you can see, I never said a word to Machinima about "this is how you don't play." They reached out to me, okay? What was the initial reaction? Read that. We can get this taken down if it's true. Now, I don't have all the emails that we ever talked about because I believe we actually had a phone call about this, okay? But what I can tell you is this.
Okay, so I'll stop right there because you contradicted yourself within the first 2 minutes of this video. So you've always stated that you have, while you were hyping up this event, you essentially said you have emails, you have receipts about your conversations back and forth, and how you were going to show and prove that you had nothing to do with the takedowns of "This is how you don't play" and anyone uploading videos of the fappening. That's what you said. Now what you do is you bring this one clip of a very shady email that you have. Don't show your corresponding emails whatsoever. You just try to insinuate that, oh, out of the blue, someone from Machinima named such and such sent me this email, and it originated because one of your Dents sent Machinima an email, or this lady an email, saying, hey, I'm a huge fan of DSP Gaming. Machinima, what are you gonna do to stop these trolls? How did they get her email? First of all, how did they know to even send anything to Machinima? You were uploading on YouTube. Wouldn't they reach out to YouTube and complain? It makes no sense, Phil. It absolutely makes no sense. And that email looks fake as hell. First of all, whenever you start a line or a sentence, whatever Gmail or whatever email tool you're using is going to capitalize that first letter. It just is. And your emails, it's not there. And then secondly, you're going to show this other email where it just, the header looks different, and I'll show you that in a minute. But it's just funny because you're contradicting yourself. First of all, you said you have emails to prove that you had nothing to do with this, right? But now you're saying, well, most of our interactions was done with a phone call, on a phone call. So which is it, Phil? Now, mind you, if you look at that email, it initiated in January of 2015. Now, when we look at the next one, again, it's just going to look very suspicious. And of course, anything Phil puts out there, you know, you're going to always look at it with a keen eye and have many doubts.
Machinima became very aggressive when it came to "This is how you don't play." Over a course of like 6 to 8 months in 2015, Machinima took it upon themselves to basically research "This is how you don't play" and try to take down the videos in any way, shape, or form that they could. Okay? I was not involved. I didn't want to be involved. My initial reaction, which sadly I don't have, was, yeah, they're basically haters of mine, and they're making malicious videos. I don't see essentially what you could really do about it, right? And, you know, unless you want to sue them into oblivion, you can't do that, right? So they said they had clout. And what they were going to do is they were going to go to YouTube and they were going to get the videos taken down for copyright. Because technically, they owned the videos that were being used in This Is How You Don't Play, because I was under their partner network and they had the rights to my videos. So they owned the videos and they could claim them on copyright grounds. What they then proceeded to do was claim people's This Is How You Don't Play videos without my permission or knowledge. All right? Then I started getting messages from my viewers and fans, Phil, why are you taking down people's This Is How You Don't Play videos? And I said, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? That's not me. I'm not taking down anyone's videos. I guess some of them were actually showing up in my name. And I was like, I'm not doing anything in that regard. Okay? So apparently what happened was, Machinima started...
Okay, that sounds like another contradiction here. So Phil is stating that that some of the takedowns were done in Machinima's name, and then some of the other takedowns were showing up under DSP Gaming under his name. Now that makes no sense, because these claims would have been a manual claim. They would have been through the DMCA manual claim system, where you have to fill out a form, put in information, and submit it. And in one of those fields, the submitting person, which would be Machinima, would have to put Machinima, and then they would explain their association with the person that owns the video. So they would be their partner manager or whatever, right? Which is perfectly fine. Why would they submit claims under their name and then claims under your name? Those more than likely probably would have gotten rejected. It makes no sense. This is what I think actually happened, Phil. And of course, you never tell the truth. I think what ended up happening was that you, Phil, initially submitted these claims. You were annoyed and pissed off because that's what you always said. You hated these. This is how you don't plays. You blame them for, you know, your downfall and why people hate you, right? And of course, anything that involved, anything that involved discrediting you whatsoever, you were gonna do your very best to take those down, Phil. And you've stated before. And you even showed proof that you filed claims against channels. And in the second breath you say, well, I've never did it. And you contradict yourself. You contradict yourself there, Phil. So I think what ended up happening was you initially submitted these claims and they were rejected. Nothing, you know, they rejected them because you didn't have a ground to stand on. You reached out to Machinima. And said, hey, can you help me with this? These people are stealing my content or whatever. And they reached out to you and said, yeah, we can submit claims because we technically own these videos and any revenue should come to us. I think that's what happened, Phil. Not that Machinima reached out to you. And the other little interesting thing is here is you talk and you trash Machinima, how they don't respond to you, they didn't correspond with you after a certain amount of years of you being Machinima. They completely changed and their customer service was piss poor. That's what you said, Phil. And you're telling us that out of the blue, someone at Machinima emailed you and said, hey, we got this email from one of your dents saying that your content's being uploaded illegally. You need to help Phil. And they send you an email it just makes no sense. And if it makes no sense, it can't be true. It just can't.
Started trying to take down videos, didn't even tell me that they were doing it. All right, which is kind of fucked up when you really think about it, because it's my content and they're doing this essentially kind of in my name and I don't know about it. So then what ended up happening was the detractors who had made This Is How You Don't Play just appealed all the strikes. All right, so within like 2 weeks of all those videos getting taken down by Machinima, they all went back up anyway. So Machinima wrote me again to talk to me about it, and they're like, well, what we want to do now is, instead of doing takedowns, because we're not going to sue them all, we're not going to do lawsuits against them, we actually just want to claim their videos, and therefore they won't make any money on them, we will. All right, okay. So I actually do have this email. This is an email that they sent to me in April of 2015, As you can see, this is 4 months later after the initial email they sent to me. Hey, what's this? This is how you don't play. We didn't know what it was. Okay? So do you see what we have here? These are videos that were this is how you don't plays, that in the name of DSP Gaming, they copyright struck, but then they got reinstated because the people who uploaded them just disputed the claims. So then they claimed them for content ID instead. You see? So this is what they did. And this was a big mess. Because first you had my haters complaining that I was hitting people with strikes when I wasn't. Then you had my haters claiming that claiming a video. I didn't do any of this. And by the way, for the record, I should say this. I didn't receive any money for this. Like, they told me they were going to claim these people's videos and pay me for it. I don't know where I ever received any payment for it. To my knowledge, I never saw any breakdown. Oh, this is the money that these guys' videos is making, and therefore you're making ad revenue on their videos. Not once did I see this. These videos didn't show up in any of my feeds or any of my reports or anything that I was provided by Machinima. So I was never made aware of any money that I ever made on any of these videos whatsoever. So it sounds to me like they didn't know what they were doing. They panicked when they heard about This Is How You Don't Play, and they didn't know how to handle it, and they botched it twice. First, they copyright struck them, realized that wasn't going to stick. They weren't going to slap lawsuits against these people. So then they just decided to claim them for content ID instead. And I don't even know if that did anything. Maybe they kept money. I don't know, because I don't know if they ever made any money on them. I was never told, nor kept in the loop of the whole situation of This Is How You Don't Play.
Okay, I find it very highly unlikely, Phil, that you wouldn't make a stink about money that Machinima could possibly owe you. So if they're sending you this email saying, hey, we're doing a third-party claim, so we'll get the ad revenue for it, or we'll make the money on it, there would be no way in hell, Phil, that you would let that go and just say, oh well, it's not a big deal. No, you would probably ask for breakdowns, specifics, and you would want to know where in your check, in your monthly check or weekly check or whatever you got, where was the payment for these. I highly doubt it. You just said, oh, whatever. The other thing too is that this looks so suspicious. Look at the title. So look who it's to. It's to Philip. If you look at the last email, right? The last email spelled his whole name out, correctly, which makes sense. Philip Burnell, right? And you see the little greater sign next to it, right? And if you look at this email right here, it just has his first name with no greater sign. Now some might say, well, it's truncated because the CC. Well, first of all, that CC looks suspicious because typically a CC would be lowercase. It would be lowercase cc. You would see the Chris and then the greater sign. I mean the greater sign. Why is there no greater sign in front of Phil? And the other thing too is that all these businesses, more than likely this person sent this in Outlook, using Outlook. All of these, they auto-populate. So when you start putting in someone's name, it's going to auto-populate the name, and you're going to see it. It should be consistent across the board. It's not going to be different. That's one thing why this email looks suspicious. The other thing is, look at the here. Here's a list of videos. Why is the H not capitalized? It makes no sense. It would auto capitalize that first word in the sentence. It just automatically does. Every email does it. Or it would highlight it for you to correct it. And this person didn't correct it, which makes absolutely no sense. And why did it take 4 months from the initial email to send another email to say, hey, this is what we did? We initially filed a takedown. That didn't stick. So then we did a third-party claim to get the ad revenue. You see how, Phil, that it makes no sense whatsoever, Phil. I'm just betting again that Phil tried to take down these videos and he had no success. He reached out to this person, to Machinima, and then someone reached out and said, oh, hey, yeah, we can help you with this, and this is what we're gonna do. And the funny thing is, he had a whole discussion right just now about conversations that he had with Claire at Machinima, right, via email. But why didn't he show that email? It makes no sense. Why isn't there a running conversation in this email? It makes no sense. The person wouldn't send separate emails. Like, if you respond to someone, they're going to respond to that email. They're not going to create a whole new email and send it to you. So Phil's being very deceptive there. He just is. So I think what ended up happening yet again was that Phil initially tried to get these videos taken down. He couldn't. He reached out to Machinima, and the Machinima said, yeah, we can help you with that. And then when it blew up in his face, that's when he backtracked and said, I didn't initiate it. This was all Machinima. This was all Machinima. Now, if Phil wants to disprove it, he can release all of the emails in their entirety with the whole conversation, not just little snippets, and then try to claim what some of the conversation occurred on via phone call. Well, yeah, I did have some email interactions, but I don't have those emails. Sure, Phil. Yeah, I bet you do, Phil. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, this marathon was just, oh Lord. It did not help Phil whatsoever at all. I mean, it was him regurgitating the same thing that he's been stating for the last month on his podcast. And it just made him look like a spoiled, petulant child. That's what it did. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.